You are now tuning in to the King of Game, Tariq Elite on Tariq Elite Radio.
You better recognize!
What's going on, fam? Welcome back to the show. This is the Tariq Elite Radio Show, and I'm your gracious host. My name is Mr. Tariq Elite Nasheed. Some people call me King Flex. The ladies call me Denzel Sausageton. And I make it do what it do. Hey, let me thank everybody for getting the tax season Macish package. Everybody got that thing. I mean, we were selling them things out like hotcakes, man. So I appreciate everybody getting that. The tax season Macish package. The sale is over. But again, people can still go to TariqElite.com and get some of the gear. I got the new Tariq Elite shoes coming in a couple of weeks. So you guys stay open and ready for that, and I got the dress shirts coming too, so we're gonna get this thing looking real fly and real crisp at TariqElite.com. And everybody, don't forget to go to HiddenColorsFilm.com to get the film Hidden Colors 1 and 2. Now we got a lot of folks calling in. Let's see who we got on the phone. This motherfucker phone is ringing. It sounds like a snitch on the phone right now. What's up, man? What's going on with the snitch phone?
What's up, man? This is Samuel, man. I'm calling from Seattle.
All right, well, why was your phone ringing when I answered the phone? What's going on?
So what?
Your phone sounded a little janky, but what's going on?
Hey, man. Shout out, man. I like what you're doing, man, with that Hidden Colors, man.
Yes, indeed.
Yeah. I got a question, man. I'm in high school.
How old are you?
I'm 17.
There you go.
What's some fly clothing I could wear, you know?
Oh, well, you can definitely get the Tariq Elite gear. I got the dress shirts coming out for you.
I got some of your shirts.
Yes, indeed. And I got the dressy stuff coming out pretty soon, so you're going to be real dip for that.
Okay.
But stay tuned for that, man. That's the best I can give you right now, because a lot of stuff that's out right now is on that moist shit. And I'm trying to get the young brothers away from the moisture, man, because that moist look and that moist vibe, that ain't working for cats right now. And I'm about to chop up a little game about that. But thanks for the call, young man. And that's very important what the young man asked me. What kind of gear should I rock? And that's why the clothes I have coming out, I got some dress shirts coming out so cats can get their little grown man on and still be fly with it. Because this whole thing with these dudes right now wearing these fucking skinny jeans still, now it's to the point where dudes are wearing these dresses. The game is getting real raggedy right now. And I saw a video on World Star. Shout out to Q and those guys on World Star. There was a video, and you search the net, you can peep this. This brother, this black dude, looked like he was around 19, 20, maybe 21 at the most. He was one of these old skinny jeans, moist swag clothes wearing niggas. And a lot of these dudes, they kind of talk a lot of shit. You know, they got on this moist gear, booty all out and all this old shit, and they want to talk tough. And the toughness don't go along with the attire. So this guy from the video, he was at a rest stop in, I think, Arizona somewhere, Arkansas somewhere. And he got into it with these two redneck truckers, these two white dudes. The white dudes was like, yeah, fuck you, nigger. They were just on some, calling the dude nigger back and forth. And it was two of them, so he was at a slight disadvantage. And the brother was, talking a lot of loud shit like, yeah, fuck y'all, suck my dick. I'm from New York, nigga. Just talking a lot of shit, which is a sign of fear, by the way. When cats are talking real loud and talking real bold and somebody's trying to fight, that's the first sign of fear. And a lot of people can pick up on that. Now, that might work in certain places, but this dude was dealing with some rednecks. With them rednecks, there's some rednecks that don't really fuck around. You got to really go in if you're going to thump with those dudes. All that talking, they don't, but bring it on, nigger. Bring it on, nigger. They don't give a damn about all that tough talk. So, him and one of them got to scrapping. They're scrapping, and the dude is bigger than him. One of the guys is bigger than him, because the brother's real skinny. And somehow the brother's arms got locked up with his shirt. He had on some little moist, soft, Finding Nemo-ass sweater, and the redneck pulled the guy's shirt over his arms to a certain angle, so the guy's arms got a little bit locked up, and this redneck started wailing on this dude. This redneck started whooping this brother's ass. I mean, he beat this motherfucker silly. So he took that L. That was a bad look for the African-American community. You ain't supposed to take an L like that, especially from a racist, redneck, white supremacist whooping your ass. That was a bad look. And that just goes to show, man, the cats out here now, you ain't got no hands. A lot of dudes dressing moist, trying to be all super swagged out on this bullshit, and then trying to be about that life. That's because a lot of these dudes grow up around these women, and you see women run their mouths in fights and shout people down and all that. That don't work for dudes. That's one lesson for my young dudes out there, man. That really don't work for no dude. When you run in your mouth and shouting motherfuckers down, and that's not how you supposed to get down. And if you ain't about that life, and if you ain't got no hands, it's just best to walk away. That dude could have ended up getting killed when you know you ain't got hands. And we got a lot of dudes out here who are used to being on the internet. You used to being thugged out on Instagram and the whole thug thing. I'm gonna get on that in a minute. It's all that, you're not no gangster. All the real gangsters are locked down, unfortunately. All the real G's who can really put it in, unfortunately, they're locked down. And again, in African American culture, what's being pushed now is this little moist, skinny jeans, dress wearing, sensitive, soft bullshit. And this ain't got nothing to do with gay, by the way. If you gay, that's cool. Be gay. This ain't got nothing to do with you being gay. Because a lot of these dudes ain't gay. But a lot of these guys are carrying themselves in a way that they can't even really protect themselves nor their community now. That's what it all boils down to. Because look, these dudes, a lot of these white boys out here, you don't see these white boys with these dresses and shit. You rarely see these white dudes out here with all these skinny jeans and tight ass fucking shirts. These dudes are taking MMA classes, they taking boxing classes, they getting prepared. They have a little code that's going on here. They send out little code words and signals, and right now, the code is out. The new code is, hey, these niggas out here are weak and soft, and we can take them. That's the code, and that's the theme of today's show. We're talking about a code of conduct for different cultures. And the code now is that there's some weak-ass dudes out here. These black folks, we got them right where we want them. Because after the whole Zimmerman thing, that sent the message all across America to all the white supremacists and all the suspected white supremacists. It's open fucking season right now. That sent a powerful message, because what happens is they actually lynched somebody and there was no negative repercussion. They bit down and saw, okay, oh shit, let's see what's going to happen with this. And when they saw nothing happen, when they saw black folks turn around and start talking about some other shit to kind of hide the fact that they were scared, it was open season. And it's going to get worse. And a lot of black folks don't like talking about that. But the shit is going to get worse. And I've been saying it's going to get worse. And also, the month of April is coming up. April is coming up next. And April is a very significant month for all of the extreme white supremacists. April is always a very significant month for extreme white supremacists. I talked about that last year. During April, it's like Hitler's birthday, it's like Patriots Day, it's all of these significant days. It's the anniversary of Waco. All of these white supremacist heroes and events are celebrated around April. And some shit is gonna go down with brothers next month, because the climate is already there. It's too much shit going on, and the climate is there. It's open season on black folks, and I talk about it as much as I can, and a lot of black folks get uncomfortable because, and I talked about it on last week's show, there's that fear. A lot of black folks don't know what to do. So we choose to bicker and talk about non sequiturs and bullshit instead of looking and seeing how can we at least protect ourselves from a lot of the bullshit. But I'm not going to get too heavy on that. Let's see who we got on the phone. What's up? Who's calling?
Hey, yo, this T from Nashville. Tariq, what up?
What's going on, man? What's happening down in Nashville, fam?
Man, ain't nothing going on. Just a bunch of unconscious females I'm dealing with down here, man.
Man, well, there's some unconscious dudes, too. Because, hey, some of these dudes, the women are unconscious because these dudes ain't making them conscious. These dudes are keeping them unconscious with bullshit. So the onus is on the dudes. I put that on the dude. Always remember this, man. I hate to cut you off, but remember this, man. Just like the old players used to say, man. Whatever's wrong with your hoe, it ain't the hoe, it's your pimping, nigga. That's the problem. Your pimping is the problem, ain't her hoeing. If her hoeing is whack, your pimping is lacking. All right, but go ahead. What's on your mind?
Yo, I got a question. Do you think the war on melanated people has escalated since Barack Obama's?
I don't think it. I know it. Of course, it has escalated.
No.
I know it has escalated. It has definitely escalated. And I was just talking about that, how it's going to get worse. And like next month, a lot of black folks need to be very careful because April is a very significant month with racists and white supremacists out here. I mean, the hardcore ones, because there's a lot of suspected white supremacists that's at your job that you see every day that they smile in your face. But I'm talking about the hardcore redneck, NRA member white supremacists. It's about to go down heavy, and I think a lot of black folks need to be prepared for that. But what's going on now? What else is happening down there in your area, player?
Nothing, man. It's just a little boosty rain down here, man.
Oh, there you go. All right, man. Thanks for the call, man.
Rain, man.
Thanks for the. All right, Blur. All right. Yes, indeed. But like I said, man, y'all got to be careful by next month, man. There's some real shit that's going to go down. Let me see who else is on the phone. I want to talk to some more listeners before I get into some game. What's up? Who's calling?
Hey, King Flex. What's going on? This is Jimmy from D.C.
What's up, Jimmy from D.C.? How you doing, fam?
I'm great, man. I'm great. Long-time listener of the show. Just wanted to call and give you props, man, on what you're doing, man. Appreciate everything.
Much respect, man. I appreciate you. Got any questions today?
Yeah, I do. You know, I'm trying to stay focused and everything out here, and I'm opening up my third eye, and I'm telling you what, after opening up that third eye, you know, I'm starting to realize that family is some of the first people you got to charge to the game, man.
Absolutely. They'll be the first ones trying to salt you up, man. Hey, there's nothing wrong with charging family to the game, nigga. If grandma's trying to shit on your dreams, let grandma slide. Just let her do her. But don't let family shit on you. They'll be the first.
Hey, man, I totally agree, man. I appreciate everything, man. Appreciate the advice as always, man.
Much respect, fam. But like I said, man, today's theme, I'm talking about codes. Code of conduct for different cultures. Codes of conduct. And the thing is, a lot of people in other societies outside of the black community, they have particular codes. Now, in every society or culture or subculture, what makes it thorough and what keeps that society intact or that subculture intact is their code of conduct. That's very specific to them. If you see a society or sub-society that's intact, that's functioning thoroughly, that's functioning progressively, they have a code of conduct that's indicative to them, that they utilize, that works for them, and they kind of mark their territory that kind of leaves everybody out to a certain degree. That's the thing that keeps them intact. Now, in the dating and the macking game, the game is thorough when the game has a code. Now, the game has gotten a little raggedy now because there is no code in the game, in the dating and the macking game. The code is going out the window to a certain degree. It's like a free-for-all. But back in the day, the dating and the macking game, and they go hand in hand because it's all the same. There was a code of conduct with dudes. And with women, there was a certain vibe you had. There was a certain set of rules you had to make everything go smooth. And there was a gentleman's agreement with other guys, especially your friends. Like if you date somebody, it was an unwritten rule. You never talk down on a player. I talked about that before. You never talk down on a player. Talking down on dudes, that's some of the most bitch-made shit that a dude can do. Talking greasy about another player, you ain't got to do that. That's not a good look. Also, another code that a lot of men had back in the day, you didn't smash another dude's ex. Even if he had a fine ex or whatever, you didn't smash unless you got permission or unless it was another jump-off chick that really wasn't his ex. But there was a rule, you didn't smash another dude's ex-lady. If that was his lady, if that was that dude's woman, main squeeze or whatever, and they broke up, you didn't smash that. That was just an unwritten rule. So you got dudes now wiping up the homie's ex and all that shit. So the game is real raggedy. But there was a code at one time. There was also another code with players. You don't mess with your homie's sister. Y'all remember that one? That was an unwritten rule. That was a code that guys generally understood. Another code that guys had. You didn't tell a dude's main lady about his side piece. You didn't rat him out. We understood those codes, and that kept the game intact. Now, when a lot of those codes went out the window, the dating game started to get a little raggedy right now. That's why there's a lot of confusion going on. That's why there's so much cupcaking. There's no code in cupcaking. There is no simp code. That's why it's simping. It's simping because there is no code. It's a free-for-all. You do all types of desperate shit, and you've seen videos. I see videos every day of some simp nigga on the internet crying. Niggas are crying in Ebonics, Spanish. They crying in Latin, Portugal languages, and they are crying in all different languages. So the game is raggedy because, again, the code. When you take the code out of something, when there is no understanding, when there's no code, and the code doesn't have to be written on a billboard, it's an understanding that all people understand and they know that they have to abide by in order to make things go smoothly. Even in the hip-hop music culture, because hip-hop is a culture, or was a culture. In the hip-hop culture, there were codes in early hip-hop among the real hip-hoppers. And that made hip-hop very authentic. That made it thorough. In early hip-hop, there was a code where you didn't bite another cat's rhymes. You never got respect if you bit somebody's rhymes. That's why nobody never respected the Sugar Hill Gang in the hip-hop community, because everybody know that they were biting Grandmaster Cash's rhymes. And, it was a big global pop success record. But on a hip-hop level, the real hip-hop artists, they weren't feeling the Sugar Hill Gang. They've never accepted them into the real hip-hop lexicon. And you didn't dress like another hip-hop artist. You didn't take another hip-hop artist's name. It was a lot of rules and codes. That has gone out of the window. And now the game is raggedy. Now we get a lot of poppy, syrupy music right now that's not as authentic as it could be. It's been watered down. But there was a code. Black people used to have a code. We used to understand having a code. That's why black people, y'all remember back in the day, way before the internet, all that stuff, a person in California or a person in Detroit could come up with a dance, and a few weeks later, that dance will be down in Georgia somewhere. Or a cat in New York could come out with a dance, and that dance would be down in Texas a couple of weeks later. Dances would travel, even without the internet, without seeing it on television, because a lot of people did get their dance moves from Soul Train, but Soul Train actually got a lot of moves a few months after they were created. You understand? So a lot of dance crazes would go all around the country just through black people communicating with each other, getting a certain code, because we used to be on the same page and we could communicate with each other on a certain level. We need to get that back. See, that's the thing we've lost. And on a street level, on a hustle level, there was a code of conduct as well. We always talk about the code of the streets. Never get high on your own supply. The not snitching code. That was a real code for a while. That code went out the window later on down the line. But there were a lot of codes for the hustlers out there. You don't shit and eat in the same place. You don't hustle around your family. You don't talk on landlines. There was a lot of stuff that you just knew, you picked up on, and everybody abided by those rules and those codes. Now, in black society, there are few institutions that still have a code. Very rare, but there are a few, like the church. The black church still has a code. They have a code of conduct. There's one of the few institutions that has a code of conduct. That's why they thrive. The black church thrives. That's one of the few institutions that really, really thoroughly thrives in the black community. Also, a lot of black fraternities and sororities. They thrive to a certain degree because they abide by a certain code and a certain level of conduct that's indicative to their particular organization. So they have a networking thing going on that works. But the thing is, you got to have a code in general. We, in the black community, we need to have a general code. You have to code your language to a level where the only people in your circle can understand you. Even on a street level, again, street gangs had a certain code back in the day. You couldn't get in a street gang unless you were born into the gang, born on the block, or if you were jumped in. They would have to jump you into a gang to get in, and you had to abide by a certain code. So what's going on with us not having a code no more? See, that whole black people have been taught individuality. It's all about you. It's all about me, instead of it's all about us as a group. And we've been taught to be down to throw each other under the bus in order to get individual shine. Because that's the thing with black folks. Black folks are cherry picked, and we say, or they say in the dominant society, okay, we're going to give that one some shine. Or we're going to give her some shine. He's a good basketball player. We'll focus on him. He can rap a little bit. We'll give him a record deal. So we're utilized individually. So a lot of that makes us say, fuck the next man. I want to stand in line so I can get chosen by the dominant society. So fuck the group. And that's the problem. That's where the code goes out of the window, because now the code is, let me get enough attention so that some white folks can pick me. I want that record deal. I want that basketball contract. I want that R&B contract. I want that shine. Instead of working as a group. So now this whole competitive thing with each other. We got to cut each other's throats and stab each other in the back for the most part, instead of working together. And because of that, we say fuck a code. We don't need a code because I ain't trying to rock with this cat anyway. That's why a lot of black businesses ain't really popping. Because subconsciously, a lot of times when black folks see another black person selling something, it's like, I know I need to support him, but damn, I don't want this motherfucker having more than me. That's something that black folks are going to have to own up to and admit. And we got to admit that it's fucking us up in the game. And we don't really have that option to think like that no more. Because the thing is, other groups of people, they have a very strict code of conduct that they work with, and they utilize it to a T. And the code of white supremacy is kicking black folks in the ass. There's a code of white supremacy that has become covert. It never went anywhere, and it's kicking black folks in the ass every day. Just look at the situation with Chris Brown. Now, Chris Brown is in jail again, and he violated probation. They said he violated probation. And the shit that they said he did was so whack and so weak. They said he was in rehab, and they were having some kind of group meeting, and Chris Brown said something about, I like guns, I like working with guns and knives. He said something about guns and knives, and then they said he touched somebody's elbow. I'm not making this up, by the way. He touched somebody's elbow in the rehab, and he's not supposed to have contact with people, so somebody there snitched on him. So now they revoked his parole. Chris Brown is in jail with no bail right now. He's in jail with no bail. Now, that's because of a code. There's a code of white supremacy showing that we have to always put these Negroes in their place. Now, some people might say, well, Chris Brown shouldn't have did the crime. He should not have done this crime 5 years ago, but the crime and the punishment has to be fitting. This ain't got nothing to do with crime now. This has everything to do with systematic white supremacy. And the thing is, black folks turning a blind eye and ignoring it and saying, well, that's what that nigga get, because y'all said the same shit with Ocho Cinco too. Y'all remember that when Ocho Cinco, when they were throwing him under the bus because that's what they want. They want any small little charge they can get on you, no matter how minute it is, because a domestic violence charge, you know, Charlie Sheen, people like that, they get smacks on the wrist. Mel Gibson, these dudes be beating the damn brakes off their women, and they ain't seen no damn jail. Or if they do, they get in and get out in a matter of hours. They get smacks on the wrist. I mean, they threaten women. I mean, the list goes on and on. Kristen Bell, all of these dudes. I can go on, and you don't see these dudes get run under the ringer. That's because they have a code in the dominant society. The code is always keep these niggas in their place, no matter what. Chris Brown has all the little white girls screaming for him. Well, he's not going to have them screaming for him in the jail cell, because now we got the shit running now. We're going to make an example out of him. That's a code of white supremacy. How long was Justin Bieber in jail? Justin Bieber did he did all types of shit. They're not running him through the ringer. They're not putting Justin Bieber in jail with no bail. But I digress. I'm just saying this to let people know the code that other people have against you. And one code is this, black folks. You got to understand, the court system just don't work for you. When are black folks going to understand that? The court system here doesn't work for you. It's never going to work for you. It was set up to not work for you. So what are you going to do? What are you going to do to replace the system of white supremacy with the system of justice, which is a great quote from the great Neely Fuller? What are you going to do? That's the question that every black person should wake up and discuss with themselves every single day. How are we going to replace this system with a system of justice? I've thrown out some suggestions, but again, throwing out suggestions to people who don't really want to know the answer, that's going to be a futile attempt. People have to want to really know the answer, because the problem is there's a lot of black folks out here who are comfortable with not having a code. Just long as massa is feeding you and keeping you comfortable, you're good. You don't want to rock the boat. But the thing is, there's a code. People have this snitching code on black folks. When it comes to black folks, there's this thing where they snitch and tell on us for the most minute things, and we're criminalized by the most minute things, and that's by design. That's part of their code. Always criminalize black folks. At every chance you get, every attempt you can criminalize black folks for minor things, minor infractions. There was a case that we're talking about on my Facebook page. A black woman, I want to say up in Richmond, California, she was going to this gym called Planet Fitness. She went to this gym, got a new membership, and she was working out, and some people complained. They went to the management and complained that her body was too toned and it was intimidating the other people at the gym. I'm not making this up. Please look this story up. We're talking about it on my Facebook page. So the woman, they said, she has to put on a shirt or whatever. So she's like, okay, I'll put on a shirt. But she was about to put on a shirt. Then somebody else came and complained. So she's like, fuck this. I'm out. So, she canceled her membership, which is what they wanted her to do. Which is exactly what they wanted her to do. They wanted to snitch on you and complain and make you uncomfortable, basically letting you know we really don't want you here. That was the code. Now, we were discussing this on my Facebook page, and I saw the woman. You look at her body, it ain't really that ripped up. She's just an in-shape black woman. When I heard about the story, I'm thinking she's going to be a big, bulky chick, but she's not. She's just a regular, very nice-looking sister, regular in-shape woman. And they complained that she was too in shape. Now, we're talking about this on Facebook, and there were some people saying, well, that's just how Planet Fitness is. They just be tripping on little minor stuff. It ain't got nothing to do with race or nothing. And these are black folks saying this, by the way. There was a couple of white people who said it, but there were some black folks saying it. They just be tripping. That's just their policy. They be tripping on little bitty shit. Planet Fitness is on that bullshit. And I said, okay, all the people saying that, please answer one question for me. Because people always try to dismiss white supremacy by saying it's not about race. And I asked them this. I said, people, find me one case of any gym in America reprimanding or complaining about a white woman who was two-toned. Find me any case of that. And then it got quiet. See, it gets real quiet when you want people to provide proof of the other side. Just like with the whole Trayvon Martin thing. People were saying, well, it has nothing to do with race. Zimmerman was just neighborhood watch. You ask people, okay, find another case where a black person went up and shot an innocent white person who wasn't doing anything and didn't even get arrested. Find another case like that. If it's not about race, find it. The closest they could find, there was a case somewhere, I think in Rhode Island or Massachusetts, somewhere on the East Coast, where this older black dude shot this white teen, but the teen was breaking in a car. The teen was actually in the process of a crime. It was like 3 of them. 3 teens, a couple of them had juvenile records, the whole thing, so he shot them. I was like, hey, you in the middle of a crime, that's my shit. So that was the only thing they could hang their hat on, but you'd never find a case showing the white equivalent because it doesn't exist. Now, some brother tried to show, he pulled up a case in Australia where a woman was dressed like a stripper in a gym and they told her to leave. And I said, brother, if you got to go around the world to another continent to find the equivalent, that speaks volumes. But again, that's the new Jim Crow, and I talked about that before, the whole dress code thing. If you listen to the old Mac Lessons radio archives, I talk about how people use dress code as a form of discrimination. That's the new Jim Crow. There was an incident, we were in North Carolina. I was doing a lecture, and one of my partners had on a white t-shirt, and they told us we couldn't come into the mall area with white t-shirts on. But I sat there and pointed out about 7 white people with t-shirts on. I'm like, what do you mean no t-shirts? And I'm looking at all of these white people walking around in t-shirts. And the guy looked embarrassed and like, oh man, hey, that's just the policy. But it's the policy for black folks. And what disturbed me more were the black people on my Facebook page making excuses for it. Black people making excuses for white supremacy because deep down, black people know what the deal is. You know what it is. You know they're using discriminatory practices. But the thing is, you don't really want to admit it because admitting it would mean you're too weak to do something about it. That's what it is. You don't want to admit that. I'm too weak and I'm too afraid to do anything about it, so I don't want to admit it. I'm just going to go along with it because I don't want to get out of my comfort zone. Say that, niggas. Just say that. Say you're scared. If you're scared, say you're scared. Because the coon train, it's never late. It comes running. And there's some black folks who would get all huffy and puffy. Y'all need to stop. Everything ain't about white supremacy. God damn it. You know, when black folks get all huffy and puffy like that, that's just a smokescreen to hide your fear. That's a smokescreen to hide your fear. I don't want to hear shit about no Planet Fitness and their policies. Those policies are used to keep people out. That's used to mark their territory. People use these policies just like having a voting ID and all that stuff. People use policies to keep you out. They've always done that. Starting with the black codes after Reconstruction. They say, okay, you can vote, but you can only vote if your grandfather voted. That's the rule that we've created. Knowing that your grandfather couldn't vote because they were slaves. See, little shit like that, they can hide their white supremacy and racism behind codes and rules and regulations. And now, back in the day, people knew what the deal was. But now black folks are pretending to go along with it when you know the truth. Because they've always done that with sisters, by the way. The thing is, this is my conjecture, that sister went up there in that gym. And again, a lot of people are making excuses talking about the Planet Fitness there. They don't want people to be too in shape, and it's a no judgment policy there. All of that is bullshit. Because again, you can't find an equivalent story of a white woman being told that she couldn't come to that gym or any other gym because she was too fit. Unless you can provide that, your story has no validity. The thing is, with sisters, especially nice-looking sisters, when you get around other women of other races and your shit is fly, that shit is intimidating. They keep fine, fly black women at arm's length. Other groups of people, when a fly sister comes around, I'm talking about a real fly sister, they keep her ass at arm's length. They'll let one or two in, like every 10, 20 years, they'll let one or two in the circle. They keep an eye on her. You know, like with Lupita, they're showering Lupita with all types of accolades and praises, but, you know, they're going to keep her isolated. They're going to keep an eye on her. They're not going to shower another sister like that in a long time. They got to do it every once in 10, 20 years so they don't look blatantly racist. But real fly sisters going around other races of women who are real in shape and thorough, that intimidates the shit out of them. That's why you always see overweight black women or very homely black women on mainstream television or in mainstream movies. You always see them wheel out Gabby Sidibe and all. They feel comfortable around that. And see, in the black community, it's like a damned if you do, damned if you don't. They say, well, if they weren't so big and ghetto, we'd respect you. But when you fly and thorough, they still come up with reasons and codes and rules to shun and reprimand the sisters. And I'm talking from experience, man. I've dated sisters before who were real fly, and they had problems at their jobs. They go to their jobs, and the women would be hating on them. Women be low-key snitching on them, complaining, going down to human resources, talking about their outfits, and no matter what the outfit is, her jeans are too tight. Her button was open. Two of her buttons were open. I mean, they'll find little shit to complain about. I've seen it happen. Sisters tell me this all the time. The real fly ones, they go through hell sometimes. Not all, but a lot of times they go through hell if their shit is together. Now, if you fat and you sloppy, you good. They love you. You all jolly and, oh, they love that. That's not a problem. So don't get it twisted. Understand the codes people are using now, because white supremacy has been refined. People are using codes. Black people, you don't have the option to be naive no more. You don't have the option to be on that dumb shit. You don't have the option to be scared. That's not going to save you. This shit is real out here. Let me get a couple of more calls. What's going on? Who's calling? Hello?
Yo, Flex, what up? Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you, bro. What's your name, man?
Hey, what's up, player? This is PT out of San Diego.
TT from San Diego. What's on your mind, pimpin'?
Hey, nothing much, man. I got a quick question for you. I've been a fan of the show. I've been listening to you for about a year and a half now. I listened to all the episodes, man. I went back. It truly stepped my game up, made me evaluate my situation, not really even just as a player, but as a man. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
It came at a perfect time in my life where I really needed to hear something like that. And a lot of the homies in the hood, man, they really love your stuff. So I just want to say more power to you and props on that. But I had a quick question for you if you got a second.
Go ahead, fam.
All right, man. So I was listening to a lot of your old shows, and I noticed in the old shows, man, you always talk about how when chicks slim down, how they always switch their style up. So I'm messing with this young chick. I've been messing with her for about 3 years now, going on our 4th year. And this chick, man, she a real pretty girl, but, you know, she was a little bigger girl. So now that she's slimming down, she's been acting real funny.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And she's been, and I noticed you always brought that up in the podcast. Even on the United Players of America, cats were saying the same thing. So I guess what I want to know is, do you check her or do you charge her? Because she's not coming at me like, oh, I don't want to be with you. But she's making real slick comments now. You know, she's like the other day we're in the car chilling. She said some shit like, we were arguing about something. I had to check her, and she's like, well, you know what? If you don't, let me throw this in real quick though, because I got to be the devil's advocate here.
Yeah.
When she first met me, I was a lot slimmer than I am now. I put on like 50 pounds.
God damn.
So her hey, her brother got that game, man. I got up in Bank of America and started eating, you know.
God
so
damn, I see, bro.
How much
you weigh now? How much do you weigh now?
Right now, man, I'm at about 260. I'm 6'3". I weigh about 260. When I first met Shorty, I was like about 220, you know, but I was cut. I was slim. I was lean. You know, I put a little weight on. I've been working real tough for the last 4 years. And this chick, man, her whole thing is like when she met me, she's always bringing up, oh, when I first met you, you knew I was big. I didn't know you was big. It wasn't a secret. You know what I'm saying?
Right,
Which
right.
to a degree, I can feel her on that. You know, but my thing is like, yo, if we both got a little weight on, we need to hit this gym and get in it together. So she makes a comment the other day, Flex, we chilling in the car. She say some real flick shit out her mouth like, yeah, when I lose this weight, all these dudes is going to be checking for me, and if you ain't at your tip-top shape, you going to get shook. And I put her ass about the car. You know, I put her about the car.
Yeah, you got
Go ahead,
a lot of those women, man, again, when they lose that weight and they get that new level of confidence, man, they want to get out there and show out. They want to get new attention that they never received back in the day.
Okay.
So that's what it is. They want to come out of that shell. They got to go. All women have to go through that attention whore stage, and that's what she sounds like she's trying to get down with. Now, the good thing is it's a temporary thing. It's a temporary stage because when women see, okay, look, I'm getting attention, but that don't really mean shit. But they just have to do it just to go through it. That's just like a woman thing. So I would say just check her on it. She ain't going nowhere. Her ass ain't going nowhere because she knows the minute she starts eating too many goddamn cupcakes, she's going to look like goddamn Martha Washington or some shit. But you get in the gym too. You got to get your gym back on too so you can get back in shape too, brother, because you don't want to get lazy in your game. You getting your... This you.
That's right, player. And I appreciate that, Flex, man. I just wanted to ask you because it's just been on my mind since the top of the year, and I'm just like, man, let me holler at the big homie and see what he thinks. And I was kind of split between it because I know what you were saying about how when you get a female to be down and get that loyalty, that's what was in the back of my mind. I'm like, all right. Because the thing is, man, I'm like her first real relationship. I'm her first love. I'm 27. She's 22.
Okay.
But I noticed how you always talked about that age at 23, 24. That's the age to catch them. And I see exactly what you're talking about now because she does a lot of immature shit, man. A lot of things that I have to put her up on. And it's just part of the growing pains. But I was in a catch-22 because I'm like, do I ride it out with this chick? She about to be bad, slim down, you know. But then on the flip side, in the back of my mind, I understand if you hear me with the music, I ain't tripping.
Yeah, I got I'm bumping Ruben Studdard for you because that's what you probably looking like. Hold on.
I'm sorry, Play. One more time. I couldn't hear you, Play. What you say?
I was bumping that Ruben Studdard for you. But hey, Play, I got some other calls, man. But I hit me up later on, brother, on the Ustream show, fam. Our brother's going on and on. God damn, that brother's long-winded. Had to put that Ruben Studdard on that brother. He was long-winded. God damn. He had a lot of wind in them lungs. Wind, gravy, pork chops, banana bread, all types of shit. Let me get one more call before I get up out of here. What's going on, fam? Hello?
Hey, what up, Tariq? It's Reggie from Wilmington, man. What's good?
What's up, Big Reggie? How you doing, fam?
I'm maintaining, man. I just wanted to get some advice from you.
Go ahead. What's on your mind?
You know, I mean, I really don't have too many, you know, I guess bright ideas that I could come up with, you know, on how to maybe start a business or anything. But I wanted to ask you, what did you think of maybe, you know, as a way to start small? You know, maybe I try to, you know, get something wholesale and then maybe try to flip it.
Oh, well, you know what it is? This is what you do. Because a lot of times cats want to start a business and they want to make money and they're like, okay, what's a good idea? Always do this. Do something that you really like to do because that's how I got popping. I did stuff that I like to do. And when you like to do something, you put a lot of passion in it. You put a lot of care in it. You put a lot of your love in it. You put a lot of intricate details in it and make it crisp and you make it thorough. If you're just doing something just to flip a buck, a lot of times that's going to be real half-assed, and that's what a lot of dudes do. They're like, I need to open up a restaurant. Then you go get a booth at the swap meet, and it's some half-assed shit with paper plates, and you selling some bullshit that you don't really have passion about. You just want it to make money right then, and there's nothing wrong with making money, but still, you got to be competitive, and you got to give people something that you're at least passionate about, so that they can be passionate about it. You understand that? Because they're going to feed off your passion. So I say to you, figure out something you like to do. Like with me, I started in the dating and relationship game because I like to help my friends out. That was a passion of mine, helping my friends out with dating and relationship advice. Then I started to make a lot of money from doing that. So you got to figure out what you like to do first. That's the most important thing. Now, Reggie, what's your hobby? What do you like to do?
Well, shit, man. This might sound kind of juvenile, but
it's never juvenile. No matter what it is, it's not juvenile unless it's you fucking with babies or something like that. Or little underage bros. That's the only thing that'll be juvenile. But it ain't juvenile. What is it?
Okay, man. Well, the one thing I definitely know a whole lot about, and I can talk about for hours, is video games.
There you go.
I love video games.
That's the thing you can work with, man. Open up a video game store, online video game store. You can become a video gamer, create a video game. There's a lot of stuff you can do, man. That's where you start doing something in the video game market, and there's a big open market for that. I'm working with the crew overseas right now because I'm developing a video game, and I don't know too much about it. That's why I hire people who are thorough and they know shit about that. So there's a lot of money in that, and if you're passionate about that, you can be very thorough. You feel me?
Yeah. Hey. Thanks again. For putting me on the right path once again, Tariq.
Yes,
I appreciate that.
Much
bro.
respect, man. Thanks for the call. Yes, indeed. Should I get one more call, y'all? I'm on a roll. Should I get one more call? I get one more call, y'all. Just one more call for the night. Yo, what's up? Who's calling?
Hi, Tariq.
Hey, who is this?
My name is Dana.
Oh, what's up, Dana?
I'm
for a minute,
in California. How are you doing this evening?
I'm good, sweetie. For a minute, you sounded like one of my old callers that I had a problem with for a long time on my show. You sounded like somebody named Cassandra. For 1 minute, I'm like, oh, shit.
No, come on now. I heard that Cassandra one. No, that's not me. I wanted to call and say hi to you. I love watching you. I called in before. Your wife had ended up being sitting right there, and I called you Denzel Sausage 10.
Oh.
That was a little bit ago, but just had one question.
Go ahead.
And then so I am 38 years old.
Okay.
Been divorced since 2009.
Okay.
I haven't gone out much since, and I'm ready to get my feet wet a little bit. But I noticed that men don't really check me out and I don't know what it is. And I've even had a guy tell me, well, you look like you're already taken. I mean, you look like you would have a husband or you're already wifed up how should I work on that?
That has 100% to do with where you're meeting people. Because what happens a lot of times when we get out of the divorce, we pick back up where we left off. But the thing is, we're not the same people. You're not the same person you were when you got married. So you can't campaign in the same locations. You're a different person now. You're wiser, you're more seasoned, you're more mature, you're more thorough, and you got to go for guys who are in that same mind frame. You need to go for guys who are a little more established. You got to go for guys who got some shit popping. You need to go for guys who are more business oriented. Hang around business settings. Don't hang around too many leisure settings. And when I say business settings, like happy hour at upscale places, upscale hotels, stuff like that, that's where you should go to meet and rub elbows with guys. What city you in, Dana?
I'm in Southern California. I have a lot of friends that listen to you, so hopefully they won't pick out my voice, although I know it's unique. I also wanted to kind of hit you up, maybe off the air would work, but I'm working with this film, Black Salt. We're actually having a casting call this weekend, and I know there's something that you and I could potentially work together with. So, is it all right if I give a shout out where it's going to be? And
let everybody know where it's going to be.
Okay, it's going to be at the Wushu Shaolin Kung Fu Center. That's at 14133 Crenshaw Boulevard, Hawthorne, California, 90250.
There you go.
So if you're interested in trying out for the lead, Black Salt is it's a live action short film project, and it's based off the critically acclaimed comic book franchise.
There you go.
So
cool.
We're casting the lead guy. He's 33 to 43-year-old African American male. He's our lead, Black Salt. So thank you so much, Tariq.
Much respect, Dana. Thank you, love. Oh, I should ask what she looked like so some of y'all could campaign for us. All my older players, if you want a 30 8-year-old divorcee. She sounds like she's very sweet, got a good head on her shoulders. I should ask what she looked like, though. Y'all hit Dana up. Find out her information. Dana, if you're listening, hit me up on Facebook so the players can know what you look like and let them know you in the game. All my players out there, get you a little something popping. All right, y'all, that's been today's episode of the Tariq Elite Radio Show, TariqElite.com. That's where you can go to get the gear. Check out the Coon Train video. A lot of folks are talking about, we put up a video for the Coon Train song on YouTube. Just go to YouTube and type in Coon Train. Hilarious video we did for it. Go check that out on YouTube, and I'm going to holler at you guys Sunday on Ustream. Peace. And a lot of these dudes, they kind of talk a lot of shit. You know, they got on this moist gear, booty all out and all this old shit, and they want to talk tough. And the toughness don't go along with the attire. So this guy from the video, he was at a rest stop in, I think, Arizona somewhere, Arkansas somewhere. And he got into it with these two redneck truckers, these two white dudes. The white dudes was like, yeah, fuck you, nigger. They were just on some, you know, calling the dude nigger back and forth. And it was two of them, so he was at a slight disadvantage. And the brother was, you know, talking a lot of loud shit like, yeah, fuck y'all, suck my dick. And I'm from New York, nigga. He's just talking a lot of shit, which is a sign of fear, by the way. When cats are talking real loud and talking real bold and somebody's trying to fight, that's the first sign of fear. And a lot of people can pick up on that. Now, that might work in certain places, but this dude was dealing with some rednecks. With them rednecks, there's some rednecks that don't really fuck around. You got to really go in if you're going to thump with those dudes. All that talking, they don't, you're like, but bring it on, nigger. Bring it on, nigger. You know, they don't give a damn about all that tough talk. So, him and one of them got to scrapping. They're scrapping, and the dude is bigger than him. One of the guys is bigger than him because the brother's real skinny. And somehow the brother's arms got locked up with his shirt. He had on some little moist, soft, Finding Nemo-ass sweater. And the redneck pulled the guy's shirt over his arms to a certain angle, so the guy's arms got a little bit locked up. And this redneck started wailing on this dude. This redneck started whipping this brother's ass. I mean, he beat this motherfucker silly. So he took that L. That was a bad look for the African-American community. You ain't supposed to take an L like that, especially from a racist, redneck, white supremacist whooping your ass. That was a bad look. And that just goes to show, man, the cats out here now, you ain't got no hands. A lot of dudes dressing moist, trying to be all super swagged out on this bullshit, and then trying to be about that life. That's because a lot of these dudes grow up around these women, and you see women run their mouths in fights and shout people down and all that. That don't work for dudes. That's one lesson for my young dudes out there, man. That really don't work for no dude. When you run in your mouth and shouting motherfuckers down, and that's not how you supposed to get down. And if you ain't about that life, and if you ain't got no hands, it's just best to walk away. That dude could have ended up getting killed when you know you ain't got hands. And we got a lot of dudes out here who are used to being on the internet. You're used to being thugged out on Instagram and the whole thug thing. I'm going to get on that in a minute. All that, you're not no gangster. All the real gangsters are locked down, unfortunately.
Hidden Colors, man.
Yes, indeed.
Yeah. I got a question, man. I'm in high school.
How old are you?
I'm 17.
There you go.
What's some fly clothing I could wear, you know?
Oh, well, you can definitely get the Tariq Elite gear. I got the dress shirts coming out for you.
I got some of your shirts.
Yes, indeed. And I got the dressy stuff coming out pretty soon, so you're going to be real dip for that.
Okay.
But stay tuned for that, man. That's the best I can give you right now, because a lot of stuff that's out right now is on that moist shit. And I'm trying to get the young brothers away from the moisture, man, because that moist look and that moist vibe, that ain't working for cats right now. And I'm about to chop up a little game about that. But thanks for the call, young man. And that's very important what the young man asked me. What kind of gear should I rock? And that's why the clothes I have coming out, I got some dress shirts coming out so cats can get their little grown man on and still be fly with it. Because this whole thing with these dudes right now wearing these fucking skinny jeans still, now it's to the point where dudes are wearing these dresses. The game is getting real raggedy right now. And I saw a video on World Star. Shout out to Q and those guys on World Star. There was a video, and you guys, you search the net, you can peep this. This brother, this black dude, looked like he was around 19, 20, maybe 21 at the most. He was one of these old skinny jeans, moist swag clothes wearing niggas.
You are now tuning in to the King of Game, Tariq Elite on Tariq Elite Radio.
You better recognize.
What's going on, fam? Welcome back to the show. This is the Tariq Elite Radio Show, and I'm your gracious host. My name is Mr. Tariq Elite Nasheed. Some people call me King Flex. The ladies call me Denzel Sausageton. And I make it do what it do. Hey, let me thank everybody for getting the tax season Mackish package. Everybody got that thing. I mean, we were selling them things out like hotcakes, man. So I appreciate everybody getting that. The tax season Mackish package. The sale is over, but again, people can still go to TariqElite.com and get some of the gear. I got the new Tariq Elite shoes coming in a couple of weeks, so you guys stay open and ready for that. And I got the dress shirts coming too, so we're gonna get this thing looking real fly and real crisp at TariqElite.com. And everybody, don't forget to go to HiddenColorsFilm.com to get the film Hidden Colors 1 and 2. Now, we got a lot of folks calling in. Let's see who we got on the phone. This motherfucker phone is ringing. It sounds like a snitch on the phone right now. What's up, man? What's going on with the snitch phone?
What's up, man? This is Samuel, man. I'm calling from Seattle.
All right, well, why was your phone ringing when I answered the phone? What's going on?
So what?
Your phone sounded a little janky, but what's going on?
Hey, man. Shout out, man. I like what you're doing, man, with that.
All the real G's who can really put it in, unfortunately, they're locked down. And again, in African-American culture, what's being pushed now is this little moist, skinny jeans, dress-wearing, sensitive, soft bullshit. And this ain't got nothing to do with gay, by the way. If you gay, that's cool. Be gay. This ain't got nothing to do with you being gay. Because a lot of these dudes ain't gay. But a lot of these guys are carrying themselves in a way that they can't even really protect themselves nor their community now. That's what it all boils down to, because look, these dudes, a lot of these white boys out here, you don't see these white boys with these dresses and shit. You rarely see these white dudes out here with all these skinny jeans and tight ass fucking shirts. These dudes are taking MMA classes, they taking boxing classes, they getting prepared. They have a little code that's going on here. They send out little code words and signals, and right now, the code is out. The new code is, hey, these niggas out here are weak and soft, and we can take them. That's the code, and that's the theme of today's show. We're talking about a code of conduct for different cultures. And the code now is that there's some weak-ass dudes out here. These black folks, we got them right where we want them. Because after the whole Zimmerman thing, that sent the message all across America to all the white supremacists and all the suspected white supremacists. It's open fucking season right now. That sent a powerful message, because what